This episode of the Game Biz is brought to you by Audible. For a free 30-day trial and to receive a free audiobook, just head on over to audible.com/GameBreaker. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Game Biz, episode 13 for October 22nd, 2013. You're watching GameBreaker TV. Joining me, as always, Mr. Monty SHARMA. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Gary. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent. And we have a special guest with us today, Stevie Ward from GiffGaff, community manager over at GiffGaff. How are you?
Yeah, getting there, Gary.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
We should note Stevie's coming in for London, so it's the middle of the night there. We do appreciate her staying awake for us. Yeah,
you're welcome, guys. I decided not to go with the PJs. Just staying up, battling through.
You've had like a really interesting career. You're like always moving, always all over the place. But let's start at the beginning. Like, how did you get into the gaming industry to start off?
I was literally finishing off drama school, Central School of Speech and Drama in London. And I'd been playing MMOs for a while, like at Christmas and stuff like that. Nothing really crazily hardcore. When I got asked by Colleen Sakina, who was producing ETV at the time, if I wanted to come and audition to do ETV, which was EVE Online's TV show, which they ran at Ealing Studios for 21 episodes. And on the last day of my finals, instead of doing my finals, I went for the audition. And literally, CCP was the first job that I had straight after uni. So if I hadn't gotten that audition, then I never would have probably even been in the industry.
Blame the Vikings for your success.
I know.
Damn Vikings. So what did you finish your finals at least, or did you just immediately move off to Reykjavik?
Yeah, basically, there was a very long kind of meeting with my tutors and the director, and basically they tapped into because it was a final project, and they tapped into the show's budget to pay for a taxi for me to actually go film ETV and then be back in time to perform.
Nice.
So basically, like, if they'd said no, I wouldn't have gone, and then everything would have been completely different.
So what was ETV like? What was that? I mean, how many episodes you guys do? 21, 22?
21, 22 episodes. It was amazing. We, obviously, it had existed in different incarnations before that, namely the Alliance tournament. So the first one was just done on the radio. Second one was a studio setup, and then we sort of joined just after the third or fourth. And it was really cool. It kind of had a budget. Most of the camera crew were interns. One of them, Oliver Nicholson, became CCP Loxy Rider, who's obviously known for doing all of the amazing EVE trailers and stuff like that. And it was really good fun. I loved it, going once a week to go and talk internet spaceships and stuff like that. And it was great. We'd get flown out to Iceland, and a bunch of us with bringing in experts and stuff to talk about spaceships, and there'd be some guys and some girls, and we'd get drunk. And it was the best thing you could possibly do with your 20s is go away to Reykjavik and put on a TV show. Who wouldn't want to do that? Everyone wants to do that.
So I was there once for an Alliance tournament, sort of behind the scenes. That was mind-numbing in terms of the work that went into putting that together. Can you give us a sense of what all went into that?
Alliance tournaments are planned months and months in advance. There's normally actually not that many people working on it, even though sort of, around the time of actual filming, there's a hotbed of new people there because obviously we fly in experts and stuff like that. But it was never, at least while I was there, it was never sort of almost an official CCP project. It was sort of the baby of the people who wanted to keep doing it. And if we wanted to do it again, we'd have to push for it to be done again. So we were always sort of pushing, we want to do another Alliance tournament, let us do another one, let's do another one. And it was always in our free time. We always, worked really hard on sort of making sure that we could keep doing it. So we had, a tournament organizer, we had Ollie on camera, we had Stoffer obviously hosting, and before that Spiral Junkie, who was awesome, and just a bunch of people who came together. And then as it developed from, I joined Alliance Tournament 4 and stayed till, I want to say, 8 or 7. And it just developed from there, and it ended up having a proper studio set up by CCP Alice, and then we'd get another camera, or we'd get some more equipment, or we'd finally get a green screen. And like, looking at it now, I was actually watching it from a pub in London, like a Meltdown esports bar in London.
Nice.
Just watching it like with a pint, and it was amazing. I got contacted by one of the experts saying, like, 4 years ago I was watching this in an esports bar with a pint, and then it was the other way around, which was so cute.
That's neat.
And it's amazing to see how it's taken off. And I mean, I just see it going, to the moon. I mean, we know already how big esports has become since then. I mean, back then we were like one of the few companies that was doing this kind of thing. And I think, the sky can be the limit with this now. I think, the world has cottoned on to esports, and it's, big things for the Alliance tournament. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
So where did that, so there's so much after that, but run through some of the companies that you went to work for there and some of the interesting ones, because this took you on like a pretty interesting journey. I mean, you've been like all over the world and living in all different places,
Yes.
working for all kinds of video game companies and
Yes, different bits and pieces. Yeah, lots. So I did lots of different things. A lot of it was freelance. I came back to the UK and I tried to get into as many different ways of working trade shows as I possibly could, because with CCP I was doing a lot of trade shows, a lot of GDC, presenting a lot of packs and stuff like that. And I think at that point I knew that I wanted to do as much as I could with hands-on product and talking to the gamers about the product and what it was, because I'm quite enthusiastic and I like talking. And so I worked out that one of the cool ways I could do this was by applying on the lowest level to actually just work the trade shows as staff, even if I wasn't directly employed at companies. So, I'd go, oh, they're looking for staff to manage a Battlefield stand at Eurogamer. Oh, they're looking for people to help with BioWare stuff. And then slowly, like, for example, PlayStation, they were working through an agency and they had me working on one thing. And then they were like, hey, you know what, we need you be the lead brand ambassador for our Access tour. So then I did that for a whole 2 months. And then BioWare were the same. They were like, oh, we want you for a press event. Oh, we want you to launch the Old Republic at a game in Oxford Street alongside Warwick Davis, and this is incredible. I can't believe I get to do this. And then Tryon recently as well. I just did I did Defiance at Gadget Show for 7 grueling days, and I don't know if people know you can do this, but you totally can work on like any game you want at a trade show if you can work out how to sort of get there. It just takes a little bit of sort of work.
Give us some insight, like how does, so obviously we get a lot of questions on the show for people trying to break into the industry, so you're much more sort of on like the very community, hands-on, like want to talk and interact with gamers and stuff one-on-one. But I'm sure a lot of people are hearing you talk about this, go, oh my god, this job sounds like amazing, but how do I even find out about that stuff? Like, where do I go to find out who and when they're looking for people at trade shows? How do you even get tapped into that whole world?
Generally speaking, there's certain agencies that do it for certain brands, not all the time, because obviously they can't send out their entire development studio to work on a trade show. And obviously I don't want to name drop the agencies right now because NDAs and stuff like that. But if you sort of ask around and stuff like that, a lot of staffing agencies do it, and you can just do things. I mean, the work's not incredible. I've been very lucky in that I've been chosen to do quite glamorous sounding ones. But a lot of the time you'll be manning a queue, or you'll be, just counting heads, or you'll be just resetting export boxes over and over and over and over and over and over again. It really sort of depends on how much you love it and how much you love the product you put on, and whether or not you can kind of love a product, even if you don't really love a product, but you know what, hey, this kid's probably going to really like it, or it might be his first time ever at Eurogamer or Gadget Show or PAX, and I'll be the reason he actually gets into a game because I'm a role model for him. And I think, as long as you're kind of proactive about finding these jobs, you can find them. You just have to know where to look.
Well, I think, part of it is the energy you have. So they don't want you managing a queue. You can actually get in front of the crowd. And that makes a difference.
It's the same thing. Managing a queue is one of the ways you can do that the most. You can do a whole spiel about, if you're managing a queue. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take you into this. Now, first of all, I need to know if you're ready to game. Can I see your gaming fingers? Okay, let's see your, you can make that a fun job, and then people are like, hey, how did you get to do that? And then it's like, you make it. A lot of the games industry jobs didn't exist 6 years ago. If you're a self-starter, I hate buzzwords like that, but if you're the type of person that can create a job for yourself and then prove that it works, there is still an opportunity for you to get that job. If you can say, hey, you know what, your company doesn't have this, this, and this, and that's what I do, you can do it. I believe.
So that at that point, like sort of when you're going through this and you're taking a lot of freelance things like that, and you're kind of feeling all this out, like what's your big goal at that point? Or are you just feeling it out and just sort of like, because like again, you're kind of in a really like interesting scenario of a position where you're really looking to be more of a personality and a face, but the, you know, is it on a show? No, but you're actually like going to conferences. So like, what are you thinking in the back of your head at that point? Like, what are you aiming for, and how are you trying to leverage this into something for the future?
I don't think that was really on my mind at the time. I think I was looking for work. I think, you know, I'd like to say that I was like, and then I knew after 3 months of doing this, I'd go and jump into blah. You know, it's not really, you just like love that, because it's contract. Well, yeah, I mean, I think because of the theatrical background, I didn't look at these gigs as sort of a stepping point to something else. I'd be like, oh, that's a show. Oh, Gadget Show, we're going to put on a show. Oh, PAX, we're going to put on a show. Oh, Eurogamer, we're going to put on a show. Oh, Gamescom, we're going to, you know. And so to me, sort of the end game was when you finish the show, and then I just wanted the next one, and then I wanted the next one, and then I wanted the next one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally.
So, okay.
I mean, you're attracted to the energy of all of it as well. So, now where's it? Then it takes you. You got to name off some of these other really interesting, crazy positions.
Crazy stuff.
You've had a couple of that are just kind of wacky, right? You were talking about like tweeting a Jurassic Park as a.
Oh, that's just stuff I do for fun. Yeah, I live tweeted Jurassic Park from the viewpoint of a raptor. Basically, my Twitter is like a mixture of sci-fi stuff, bit of gaming info, and then random stuff. But yeah, like I don't know, I'll write like crossover Jurassic Park, Back to the Future fan fiction. I do lots of stuff at Sci-Fi Weekender sometimes. I don't know, just things like that. I think it's just more of a I hate the term geek now, but geek subculture type stuff. So it's not all games industry news. It's more like just random stuff. But people can enjoy it, so it's good.
Tell us a little bit about Multiplay. They did some neat stuff, and want to get a sense of that.
Multiplay are amazing. They are, I guess the American term is mom and pop company, family run. Been around for a really, really long time, and they started off as hosting LAN parties. So, you know, that's when everyone would get together with their computers, play games for 3 days straight, eat lots of food, drink lots of beer, and generally have a good time. These were called insomnia because obviously you'd stay up all night playing your games and you would never go to sleep. And they're now on their 50th iSeries, which is what they're called. And it's become the biggest gaming festival in the UK. It's absolutely huge. And they've branched out as well. So now they do things like they host servers. They produced. We actually went over to Paris and put on Minecon for Mojang, which was a huge deal. Oh, that was like the tiredest I've ever been in my life. Working with 7,000 kids on Minecraft in Disneyland Paris, when no one speaks English, trying to put on a show with the amount of consoles that we had. We packed it all in like 3 vans and went. It was insane. The guys at Multiplay, they work so hard, and they are taking off now, and it's just the best thing for them. They're amazing. I love them to pieces.
That's awesome. So you go from there to GiffGaff, which isn't the traditional gaming company.
No.
But tell us what you do. Well, tell us what GiffGaff is, and then what you do for them, and then we'll get back to games.
So GiffGaff is a mobile phone network, which is based here in the UK. And it sort of operates as a mobile virtual network operator using the O2 network. So it's owned by Telefonica. It's been around for about 3-4 years. And it's different from normal mobile phone companies because it's kind of run by our members. So, for example, they help us with our sales, customer service, even our marketing. So we don't have sort of, I guess the gaming equivalent would be GMs. If you have a problem using GiffGaff, you post on the forums, and within sort of 2-3 minutes, you'll have an instant reply just from somebody else who's also on GiffGaff. So essentially, our members come up with, I don't actually know the figure, but I'd say a good 90% of all of the ideas that we get implemented. So things like goodie bags, our pricing, they came up with that. Things like our answer phone number, they came up with that. The GiffGaff is a Scottish term which means mutual giving. So basically, they do all of this stuff that helps the community, and then they get payback for it. So they get, free calls, or they can decide where the money goes, that kind of thing. So it's really, I mean, when I joined, I kind of described it as the World Series of community management. because you're not sort of dealing with a product and then the community that sort of loves that product. You're dealing with a product which is small and a community that actually almost is the product. They make it what it is. It would be impossible without them. We just had about 100 of them turn up for an open day, and they are insanely dedicated. It's fanatical is the wrong word. It's they're amazing, the stuff they come up with. Like at the moment we're running a consultation on making the site better for disabled people to use and view, and they'll be like, hey, you know, I just came up with all of the subtitles for all of your YouTube videos. Here they go. I've just come up with a way that we can change this, this, and that, and they do it all, and it's incredible. It's for a community manager, it's very rewarding because you see results.
What do you do as a community manager? Like, what's your day like?
For me, it's different. So a lot of some of the community managers do a lot of back-end stuff. So, you know, scheduling things. We have educators as well. So the educators are, I guess you'd see them as community managers, but essentially what they do is they help the members help each other. So rather than, you know, the traditional sort of thing on a forum where a moderator would sort of lock a thread and be like, this thread can't keep going, they'd actually message the member and say, hey, you've posted this like this, but what we actually need you to do is this would probably help you more than that, or have you suggested this? So it's a very different process for them. For me, I'm doing a lot of, I say it's the fun stuff, but it's a lot of gaming events. So we've just done a massive FIFA esports cup, which we streamed live, which was amazing. We had about 7 universities come play with us. We had a TF2 night, which was pretty awesome. I'm hopefully doing some really cool stuff with Just Giving really soon, which is the charity. You know, everyone uses it for charity-run fundraising stuff. Loads of stuff, a lot of video production, which is kind of what I was doing at CCP as well. So a lot of front-end facing stuff, and working with them on cool events and competitions and things like that. Basically, you know, a lot of stuff that is really fun to do and is also you know, really beneficial for the company, because the members work so hard on really sort of serious stuff. It's nice to kind of kick back and do fun things with them too. That's what I can do.
That's interesting. So then is the distribution platform all mobile? So it's being pushed to all the GiffGaff users?
Do you mean the SIM cards, or what do you mean?
Actually, all the media and the events that you guys are putting on, and like these, you know,
it's all forum based. It's a lot of forum based stuff. It's a lot of forum based stuff. But we basically took over Twitch for a while for each event, so we were running stuff on Twitch for the that stuff. But then also for the FIFA event, we had all of the universities come to an undisclosed stadium location in London, which was amazing. It was very, very cool. I can't say
a well-known stadium.
A well-known London stadium to play some FIFA, which is
really
cool.
interesting. That's a really interesting company. That's really interesting.
They're amazing.
So what do you think? So being around, I mean, you've been around the games industry for quite a while now. Again, like, talk about like sort of a really odd sort of direction of, like, you know, launching your career and doing all these great things that you're doing. And it's like people, because like we always back to the question of, hey, I've got this job. I want to get in the games industry. I don't know how to leave my job. I don't know how to get in. I don't know how to do that. I mean, you really, like, in some weird roundabout way, just kind of fell into something at the same time, but really took a different approach. I mean, do you think that, I mean, would you suggest to people like, hey, that could be a really good way, is just start volunteering at cons and events and expos, start making connections, just get out there?
For community managers, yeah. I mean, if you look at, take Lydia from Mojang, she was, I think she was an app, you know, she just did apps. And she was a really, really fanatical Minecraft app developer, and then she's become their figurehead for all of their community stuff, which is a great way of doing it. You can, I mean, if you, for CCP, if you look at the amount of Eve TV experts, crew, and stuff like that that eventually got hired, it was a great way in. As far as, you know, working for bigger companies and stuff, the best way you're going to meet these guys is at a trade show if you're working it, or a games industry event, or a fundraising event. You know, we're a very social species. You know, people don't think we are because we're gamers and we like to sit and game. But we, you know, we like talking to each other. And I mean, the best thing you can do is go and talk to people. It's kind of, you know, it's like, you know, having a garage band and never taking it on the road. You have to kind of get yourself out there and show what you can do. You know, it's not going to sort of happen by itself.
And that's one of the things that we try and just to let everybody know on here is that it's a great thing about the video game industry is that when you get out there and you go to these cons and expos, everyone is so nice. Like it's not, it's like everyone in the game industry like wants to talk to you, wants to hang out, wants to have a drink. It's not like other industries that are like super closed off, like Hollywood and things like that, where you just can't show up at Hollywood events and be like, I want to be, a producer. It's like, no, games industry, you could literally, it's pretty easy to get access to these people if you're kind of just, I don't want to use the word aggressive, but aggressive to at least get there.
Just show up at places and you'll meet people. But, I was saying to Stevie earlier today, it's her personality. There's no way she wouldn't have succeeded at something like this, because it's that energy and caring that a good community manager needs that she brings. So you'll find your own path. You don't have to actually have a plan.
I think if you put two people next to each other and they've got the same CVs, but one of them's super excited, I'd always go for super excited, slightly hyper, too much caffeine guy over kind of like, I've been here for like 3 years, and that, But that's just me personally. I think different studios like different things.
Well,
but I mean, I think when it's like crunch time and something's gone wrong, or there's a problem with the release, or there's a bug or something like that, like those are the people that are going to keep you going.
But and on the flip side, look what we do. We get constant, inquiries here about, like, how do I become a host on, GameBreaker? How do I start making videos on YouTube? This, that. What she just said, there's step one. Now, step one is start doing it. Step two is to over-caffeinate and do what she did. You see that? Drink like 4 cups of coffee before every show. Now you know why, because her advice is absolutely right. Everybody will always take the over-hyper-caffeinated person with a lot of energy before anyone who's boring. So there you go. Stevie Ward, thanks so much for being on the show. Interesting stuff. Community manager over at GiffGaff. I need to look at GiffGaff now, because that's just a super cool sounding company. I actually want to pick your brain after the show about this, because it's crazy. I don't even fully understand it, but it sounds awesome. Monty Sharma, follow him on the Twitter at Monster, MONTSTER27. And if you have a question for a future show, you can send it to Monty at GameBreaker.tv. That is the email address you can reach Monty at. Really quick, Stevie, what's your Twitter? At
Stevie_SG. Oh wait, I did it the wrong way. Stevie_SG, like that. That probably got
follow her on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, Gary Gannon, follow GameBreaker TV, GameBreaker TV, and we do the show live every single Tuesday at 3 PDT. That's Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Time, whatever it is, part of the year. I don't remember. Who knows? I haven't had enough caffeine yet. See? Rule number 2. We'll see you guys next week for some more Game Biz. Thanks so much for watching.